What's up, everyone? It's Greg Helbeck here. I'm at a West Seattle property right now. This is a wholesale deal I sold, and the guy who bought it is currently renovating it. As you can probably see, stuff here, hot water heaters out, toilets out, junk behind. They ripped the floors out. So this is a property that I got under contract like 3 weeks ago. I didn't want to rehab it myself because it needed a lot of work, hence the floors and stuff you saw. So I figured, let me try to wholesale this out. So I put it out originally at a number. Nobody really wanted it. So when we got the house under contract, we told the seller a few things. We told the seller that number one, we're wholesaling it. And number two, we might need a price reduction. So in advance, we told the seller because their original price was way too high. We said, hey, we can try at that number, but our intention is to wholesale this. So we're going to sell it to somebody else. If we can't get a buyer, we have to renegotiate the price. So that's exactly what happened. We couldn't find a buyer at the original price. So then we went and renegotiated. We had offers at 500 and we had it for 470. So we had to split some of the excise tax and there was another issue with it. But at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, when the deal closed, made 15 grand wholesaling it, which is normally pretty low for a wholesale deal, especially in Seattle. In this case, the buyer wanted to make sure they closed on time and wanted to do right by the seller. So I could have, in theory, tried to renegotiate with the seller again, but that wouldn't be right because it's not our fault that we were making less money than we thought. So the seller shouldn't have to suffer. So that's another point. If you already have a margin on your deal, don't renegotiate with the seller. If you get a lower margin, you get a lower margin. 15 grand, not bad. Normally a wholesale deal, I would say is like 20, 25, sometimes 30, depending on where it is. But I'd rather make 15 grand in the matter of 3 weeks versus trying to rehab this thing. Probably needs at least 100. What are some lessons you can learn from this deal? Number one, if you're wholesaling houses, you should just tell the seller you're doing that anyways. People make offers to sellers and they have no intentions on closing and then they can't find a buyer. It really puts wholesalers' reputations on the line. So if you're only going to wholesale a house, you should just tell the seller that's what you're planning to do. And if the seller wants to do that, great. There's no problem. They don't care that you're making money because they know you're wholesaling anyway. Lesson number two, you need a price reduction. You have to justify it, right? In this case, we told the seller we are wholesaling it. And if we can't do your original price, we're going to need a price reduction. Once we had buyers walk this, they were like, hey, this is where we need to be at. And then we went back to the seller, told them that information, and then negotiated the lower price. So hopefully you got value from this video. If you're in Seattle or if you're in the Hudson Valley or San Diego or Reno or Delaware and you have a house you want to wholesale me like this one, Craig at velocityhousebuyers.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.